Hello YouTubers, RogueMonkeyJr here. As you all know, the fall patch for Battlefield 1 is finally out. It came out last night, and the patch notes came out during the day. So I am going, in this video, just going to talk to you guys about what I feel are the biggest changes that they brought to Battlefield 1. And without further ado, let's begin. So first of all, for operations, 64-player operations, they increased the tickets per battalion to 250 from 150. They increased the amount of tickets regained from killing retreating defenders after capturing a sector from 2 to 3. They increased the amount of tickets regained after capturing a sector in 64-player operations from 30 to 50. They slightly reduced the time it takes to capture flags. For 40-player operations, they increased the tickets per battalion to 200 from 150. They increased the amount of tickets regained from killing retreating soldiers after capturing a sector from 2 to 3. And same thing, they slightly reduced the time it takes to capture flags. So they obviously listened to all the gripes that many people had with operations, saying that it was unbalanced. There was the defenders were had a big advantage, and there weren't enough tickets, and blah blah. So they made some big changes to operations. Now for Conquest, one of the biggest maps that they had bad feedback from was Suez Canal, because it felt like one of the two teams could cap all the 3 flags and just like hold it on lockdown and camp the enemy base too easily. So they added 2 additional flags on the Suez map, giving it a total of 5 flags. They added an armored car for either team to spawn in their headquarters. They reduced the size of the capture volumes on the flags located in the village, which are the old A and B flags. This is to reduce the amount of building interiors located within the capture area. So that means there's going to be less buildings from which you can cap the flags, well, the old A and B flags, which are now B and C, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, it's going to be a little bit easier to capture the flags. Something that they added is soldier customization are available from menus now, so you don't have to actually be in a game to be able to customize your soldier. They brought back the squad leadership feature from Battlefield 4, so let's say a squad member requests an order and the squad leader does not give an order, a 60-second timer begins, and if the 60 seconds goes up, then the first member of the squad in queue gets the squad leader. Now what I'm saying about queue is, let's say I ask for an order and my friend asks for an order after me. I will be the first squad member in queue for the squad leadership position. You can purchase battle packs from the store now. It's not quite yet available, but it should be very soon. The rent a server program has been added, so that means custom servers. You can join custom games from the multiplayer tab. The quit button is now always available at the end of round screen, which means that you don't have to wait for the next map to load. Squad XP boosts have been added in battle packs, so that's very interesting. I can't wait to see how these work. Prone soldiers can no longer be pushed by teammates. I cannot count the amount of times that I was pushed off a cliff when I was sniping by a teammate that just like pushed me off. So that's really good. The medic's syringe has scaled damage, which means that the longer that you hold down the click button with the syringe out, the more damage you will do to your opponent. There were several CPU optimizations, several DX12 optimizations, fixes for DX12 crashes. The loading time doing the maps has been decreased. Fixed so that all the vehicles are available during pre-loading phase, well, pre-round phase, which means that all the armored cars, the motorbikes, and all that stuff is all going to be available in the pre-round screen. They also fixed an issue where destroyed buildings would severely affect CPU performance, resulting in low frame rates. I was experiencing this, and I have an i7 6700K, which is crazy, and I was getting really bad frames when, like in Amiens, when all the buildings start to collapse. I was just getting really poor frames. It was just terrible. Squads are no longer auto-locked if less than 3 people join a server as a party. So what was happening is people were joining as squads of 2 and like as parties of 2, and all the squads would end up locked. So you'd have a bunch of squads of 2 and like no full squads. So it was just like it's bad for your team at this point. They also reduced the sun flare in Suez and Ballroom Blitz, which means that when you look directly at the sun or in close vicinity to it, you shouldn't be as blinded as you were before. Weapon balance. So the LMGs got a little bit of loving. LMG and SLR bullet suppression at medium range has been increased. They increased the aimed accuracy for support machine guns, which means that it's going to be easier the accuracy for aiming down sight is going to be better. They decreased the Lewis gun's first shot recoil multiplier, as well as the Huo's first shot recoil multiplier. They increased the BAR M1918's horizontal recoil. The low weight MGs now gain accuracy faster during fire, which is a very good thing. So the longer you hold down the fire button, the more accurate your gun's going to get. They added bipods to low weight LMGs, which were pretty much the only LMGs that didn't have them. They changed the damage multiplier for buckshot to be more consistent. So this will eliminate some unintentionally high and unintentionally low damage hits. So if you guys play with the buckshot shotguns, you might have noticed that sometimes it was just the damage model was just friggin' wonky, and sometimes you get a kill from really far away, one shot, but sometimes up close you wouldn't get a kill. Like, it was weird. The Hellriegel now overheats slower and has increased horizontal recoil, so that's good. You're going to be able to hold down the fire longer, but it does have more recoil. Gadget balance. This is important. Limpet mines are now indestructible until they detonate, because people were actually stealing your teammates' limpet mines by throwing dynamite or explosives at it. So they would steal that limpet mine, like get the kill or whatever, you know what I mean? Increased number of magazines for gas and incendiary tripwire bombs to make them more attractive over the HE tripwire bombs. So pretty much the only tripwire bombs that were being used in Battlefield 1 were the HE ones, and now if you spawn with the incendiary and gas, you get 2 instead of only 1. Mortars now require a time after deploy before they become fully accurate. So the mortars got a pretty decent nerf, very much needed nerf, if I might say so. They increased the penalty for firing multiple mortar rounds quickly, which means that you're going to be a lot less accurate if you spam fire that mortar. They reduced the max damage radius of support airburst mortars, so the round is actually going to have to land closer to do its full 65 damage. The minimap targeting function of mortars now shows the current accuracy level of the strike. The red dot only appears when the strike is at maximum accuracy, so if it's not at maximum accuracy, you're not going to get that little red dot in the middle. Both support mortars can now fire 2 smoke rounds in addition to their default round, so this is very interesting. So it gives you another layer of tactics that you can explore with the mortars. There were certain fixes or tweaks to the rifle grenades. I'm not really going to go over them. They're very minor tweaks. For more weapon balance and tweaks, bug fixes actually, they removed the delay before being able to fire a primary or a secondary weapon after deploying a gadget or throwing a grenade. So this was kind of a problem. If you guys didn't notice, after throwing a grenade, it took quite a substantial amount of time, like if you're in fire, to actually fire your main or secondary weapon. So that was kind of annoying. They reduced the reload times of the auto-loading aid, extended to better match the animation. They fixed some recoil patterns and directions and stuff like that. Not very important. So some feature updates. Ricochet. The tracers ricochet off armored vehicles are now more easily seen. If you guys didn't know, the AT rocket gun can actually ricochet off the tank if the tank is positioned in a certain way. They added a hit indicator for glancing hit on vehicles. They added hint prompts to soldiers that explain the explosion damage reduction prone, and some other things that are a little bit less important. Something that is important, however, is they actually fixed the scoring when you do damage for the behemoth. So it no longer comes in 20-point chunks. It's going to be smaller damage amounts will register as a point value, as opposed to getting a big chunk of damage and giving you 20 points. The total point value of a behemoth has not changed, however. Now for vehicle balance. So the Fortress gun does greater damage against vehicles and has a bigger lethal area against infantry. So if you guys don't know what the Fortress guns are, they're the one that are in the bunker, and they seem quite underpowered for the type of shell that you shot out of that thing. Now the AAs got a nerf. They decreased the damage of AA cannons against planes and plane parts. They reduced the AA truck range to better align with stationary AA and prevent HQ camping. Some other fixes for planes and stuff like that. They also improved the server performance and bandwidth for airplanes, and multiple improvements to the servers in general for this performance and all that stuff. But those are some of the most important things that I found out of the patch notes. If you guys want to read the entire patch notes, I will leave a link down in the description. But those are some of the most important changes that I want to share with you guys. So if you liked the video, hit that like button. If you disliked it, hit the dislike button. Subscribe to my channel for more videos like this one. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I will see you guys in the next video. Have a good one.